too. I am your single host today, Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy, because my co-host Sheila, also known as Sheila D37, had an unfortunate work injury occur to her this week. If you follow her on Instagram, you probably saw it, but she slipped on something while rushing for a code at the hospital where she works, and she sprained a ligament and chipped a bone in her foot, and she has been ordered off her feet. So the day that we were going to record originally, we had 2.5 feet of snow come down. And then she was coming over on Friday, but unfortunately she had her accident at work on Thursday, and she had to go see the orthopedist on Friday, and she's in a boot, and she's supposed to keep her feet up. So we decided that the easiest thing after all of that, 2 interrupted plans to record, was for me to just record, and hopefully next week we'll figure it out so we can record together, maybe at her house. So that's why I'm alone. If you're new, usually there's another person with me. And if you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back. And this is going to be a quick one because with just me, there's not a lot to show and tell. So off the top, I just want to give a shout out that we have our knit along, crochet along, anything that you make in warm colors, which we've defined to include pink, red, orange, and yellow. We're doing warm colors right now. We will be announcing the theme of the new knit along next time when Sheila is with me. We'll also be drawing prizes for this month's January knit along next time when Sheila's with me, because this is still being recorded in January. So the next episode will be the first episode in February. So drawings for those next week, announcement of the new monthly knit along next week. We also have an ongoing contest for the Earth's Wonder collection by Angelia McGar. She has a code that I accidentally put the wrong thing in the thread, but everywhere else it's correct, and I have corrected it in the thread. So you can buy her patterns for 25% off, or you can do the contest thread and try to win one of her patterns, or you can do both. And that we will pick 6 winners for those patterns in the next episode as well, episode 195. So that's what's going on with the show and Sheila missing. So send everybody send her good get well mojo so that she can get back to work soon and get out of the boot. So what's on the dance card? I don't have a lot on the dance card right now, but I do have 2 new things on the dance card that you haven't seen before. The first thing is I am doing a Hitofude knit along, the Hitofude cardigan, with a couple of my friends, actually 3 of my friends, and it's hard to see because it's all, I'm halfway through the row. Let me try to get this so you can see it better. So this is, I think I'm on the 5th, or I just finished the 5th repeat. You do a provisional cast on, and then you do the patterning. I am knitting it in Enchanted Knoll Farms sock base in the Margaritaville colorway, which I love. And it's going to be really beautiful, but I didn't get a lot of work done on it this week. So that's number 1 in my Knitting's My Bag flower bag. I like this bag because it has that bright green that really goes well with this. Let's see what my, I don't really have a very matching Notions pouch from Stitch by Jessalou, but this is the one. It has little mopeds on it. It's pink and yellow. And I also have a Stitch by Jessalou wedge bag with a bunny on a bike that I'm using right now, because this is where I keep my circular needle pouches with all of my signature needles in them. These are the bigger ones. And this one has the smaller ones. So I keep those organized in here. And those are in my bag because I'm using signature needles to knit this project. I like how I can just stuff them in there. So that's the Hitofude. The cast on was kind of crazy because you got to crochet I did a crocheted provisional cast on. You could do another kind. You don't have to do that one, but that's my favorite one. And you have to crochet 2 pieces, 2 lengths, and kind of attach them together. It's complicated. I found a really good suggestion by reading the project notes of how to measure to make sure you're making the right size cardigan. You take the measuring tape and you run it around here. So it goes around your back and up around your neck because that's how the cardigan goes on you. And so if you do that and then you look at the amount of stitches you're supposed to have when you start knitting the body, that'll give you a good idea if the cardigan is the right size for you. So I did that to make sure that I was knitting the right size. And I was actually in between 2 sizes, so I chose to do the larger size just because I'd rather have a little bit of extra room in here than have it be too like binding. So we'll see how that goes. So that's number 1. Number 2 on the dance card, I started knitting my Sad Panda socks. Try not to get the glare on it. This is Sad Panda on the Bedazzled base by Fiber Nymph Dye Works. I love this sock yarn so much. I have knit one other pair of socks from Fiber Nymph, and I did Soft Kitty in the Bedazzled base, and if you can kind of see it glistening in the black stripes when I move it. So pretty. I cannot tell you how much I like her sock yarn base. It's strong and squishy, and I love how sparkly it is. From now on, anytime I buy from her, I'm going to buy in this base because I really am in love with it. I am using the Rise and Shine pattern. I don't know if you can see it. This light is so bright. Maybe if I hold it back here. Maybe if I hold it closer. It's zigzags of traveling cables going up the sock. The Rise and Shine pattern, I am not following that pattern at all. I just took the traveling cable design from it. They have a chart to show you how to make it do this zigzag. When I knit the second sock, I'll just knit the chart in reverse so that it's the opposite way. They don't give you an opposite chart, but you can just read the chart the opposite way to do it. It's not very difficult. And again, I'm doing my standard sock for me, which is a basic toe with just increases both sides, and Fish Lips Kiss Heel, which you can see I've done here. And I like to do mine on 64 stitches, and I'll probably put most of that information in my project page. I haven't done a project page for these yet because I just started them 2 days ago. So, but I'm almost done. I like to knit my leg the same length as my toe, and you can see I'm down to, I have about 1.5 inches left before I'll start the ribbing. So I'm really liking that. And then I'll have another pair of socks. And I'm really enjoying this traveling rib pattern. It's really easy to follow. You just have to make it go in the right direction every time. And it gives a nice little texture to the sock without being too crazy. So I really like it. It reminds me of like tire treads in the snow. But Sad Panda, I love this. I love this colorway. My favorite thing about this colorway is how the stripes are variegated. There are a couple of blues in this variegated stripe that just make me so happy. They're like my favorite blues. And if you're wondering why there's a stripe missing here, that's because the black stripe ended up in the heel on this section. So that's why it has a double white, but it usually goes white, blue, black, blue, white, blue, black, blue, like that. And I think this is awesome. So if you get a chance, check out Fiber Nymph Dye Works for this new colorway, Sad Panda, because it's pretty awesome. And this is going to be my 3rd pair that I've knit in 2015 when I get done with them. And I'm keeping this in my blue Dog Swinging in the Tree bag from Knitting Is My Bag. And this one has totally not matching Notions pouch from Stitch by Jessa Lou. It has some kind of flower on it. So this is putting you on notice, Jess, and the next time I see you in person at a vending at a festival, which I think is going to be at Connecticut, I'm going to need to buy some more pouches because I don't have enough that match. I got to like make a list. So yeah, I'll put this back in the bag. But this is working out great. And then the third thing I have on the dance card, which I don't want to pull out because it's, well, maybe I'll just grab it. It's in the corner. It's in the naughty corner. Is my Christmas stocking, my Bucilla Christmas stocking. I still haven't gotten the gumption together to knit back the part that I ripped out, but I will work on that soon. I have a very good reason why. This is one of my favorite bags. I just like the colors of this bag. It has gnomes on it. I thought it was like, I don't know why gnomes and Christmas seem to kind of go, but I have the blue version of this fabric. It's the same fabric in the Notions pouch. And I love the inside of this bag is mushrooms. And the inside of this Notion pouch is the blue fabric and mushrooms. So that makes me happy. Oh, and somebody showed me that they match all of their Notions to be the same color. They had all white Notions. I thought that was kind of cool. And I mentioned I do make an effort to match my tape measures to the bag. So this one has a red one. And I think this other one has a pink one. Let's see. Yeah. I like them to try to match up. So, and I try to put some, what do you call them? Stitch markers in that match, but I have so many stitch markers that I started randomly putting them in. I think I have one like gnome bag. This gnome bag might actually have gnome stitch markers in it. I have to look. No. I have one of them that has a gnome bag that has gnome stitch markers in it that I got from Knittings in My Bag. So that's really cute. But so that's what I have on the dance card today, those 3 projects. And I really need to force myself to work on that Christmas stocking before it becomes one of those works in progress that gets by the wayside. And it's just so hard for me to work on those things when I'm knitting that sock because I've enjoyed knitting that sock so much. That's all I feel like working on. So that's it for on the dance card. I have one date to rate. I finished my Swirl E socks by Susie White in White Birch Fiber Arts. This is How We Roll, or It's How We Roll. It's How We Roll colorway, which is red, white, and blue with a red in a gradient stripe. And again, I'm not really sure. I think the swirly sock pattern is written to be cuff down. I knit these toe up, and I just used the stitch pattern on the sock. And I made them slant, if you can see in the opposite, maybe if I put it closer. I made them slant in the opposite direction so that they would be mirror images because that's one of my things. I love these. White Birch Fiber Art is another sock base that I just really love to knit in. Last fall, I knit her Fade to Black colorway, black with rainbow stripes going through. And I wear those all the time, but I love the way that knits up. The fabric is really great. And that was yarn that I got from her booth at Stitches East last year. And this is yarn that Sheila bought me for Christmas. So I'm glad that I'm done with that. Too bad these aren't sparkly. I'm really into the sparkly right now, but I'm glad I got those done. And now that I've shown them to you on my little sock blockers, I can wear them. My feet are really cold and I wanted to put them on earlier, but I was waiting until I showed them before I wore them because then they get all stretched out. So that's it for Rate Your Date. Future dates, I have no future dates right now, and that is because I need to work on the projects that I have. I think 3 projects on the needle is a lot. I'm trying not to have whips that get lost by the wayside again. So until I finish one of these whips, I'm not going to cast on anything new. I'll probably cast on another pair of socks when I'm done with this pair just to have something that I can take with me because I do have to go out and drop kids and wait for them a couple of times a week, and it's nice to be able to have a small project to knit with. The sweater project is too big to take with me, and the Christmas sock project, because it's intarsia, is too complicated. I don't want to like have all that stuff hanging around. So the sock project is what I take when I wait in the car, when I wait at karate, you know, whenever I have to go somewhere where I have to wait for a kid. That's what I use. So no actual future dates this week. Whirlwind Romance, I actually pulled out a bump to do a quick palette cleanser spin. I want to spin a loop bullseye bat that I got at Rhinebeck last year. So I might do that this evening or tomorrow evening. It depends on what's going on in my house. I think I'm gonna pull out my sidekick. I'm planning on moving my ladybug upstairs into my yarn closet because it takes up a lot of space down here, and I think if I had my sidekick down, it's smaller and easier to move around. I think I would use it more, so I'm going to try that because I do want to get some spinning in. And that loop bat, this loop bat is really beautiful. It's a bright rainbow, but in between each rainbow color there is a section of black. So I think it'll make really pretty socks or a really pretty shawl or pretty much a really pretty anything. The loop bats that I've spun have all come out gorgeous. So that's my plan for Whirlwind Romance. The other exciting thing is I believe tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific, I'm getting my next clue for the Storytime Classic Stitch project from Frosted Pumpkin. So I'm really excited about that. That's why I might not spin tonight, because I might want to do some work on that. So we'll see what my mood is. But I'm excited to do the next clue. It's going to be fun. So those are my Whirlwind Romances. Let's see. What comes next? Baubles and Bling? Could be. I don't have any Baubles and Bling this week, which is a good thing. I almost bought some sock yarn the other day, and I stopped myself. So I don't need any more sock yarn right now. I need to knit the stuff that I've bought, because I've bought so much self-striping sock yarn. So no Baubles and Bling this week. The only Baubles and Bling is going to be my new treadmill, which should be delivered tomorrow. So I'm very excited about that. But I don't have any fiber or cross-stitch related Baubles and Bling to show you this week. And Sheila will have some exciting Baubles and Bling the next episode. So you can look forward to that. Crushes and heartbreaks. Well, let's see. My biggest crush, of course, is that Sheila got hurt at work. She's not seriously injured in the sense that she's not in horrible pain. She's not on medication. But she did do enough damage to her foot that she needs to wear one of those boots and keep her weight off it for at least a week. So I'm sorry that that happened to her. She's feeling really bad about letting her colleagues down at work, even though this was a total accident. She slipped on some stuff that had been locked in at the hospital, which is bound to happen since in our state we got like 3 feet of snow last week. So, you know, and this was the day after the storm got over. So there's no, you know, it's not her fault, but she is so conscientious about work. She feels really guilty about it. So I'm hoping her guilt won't make her go back sooner than she should. Fortunately, because it's a work-related injury, it's a workers' comp issue, so they have to monitor, and she needs to get a doctor's note to come back. So that will hopefully keep her not doing anything too quickly. Because I know from experience, if you try to do too much with an injury, you can sometimes make it take longer to get better. It doesn't do anybody any good, including yourself. So that's one heartbreak. The other heartbreak is that we got, 3 feet of snow, 2.5 to 3 feet of snow, depending on where you measure. We had snow for 2 days on Tuesday and Wednesday of this past week. And it delayed the delivery of my treadmill, which was supposed to be here on Wednesday morning. Obviously, they were not going to be able to bring it in the middle of a blizzard. The kids missed 2 days of school. It led to Sheila having a slip and fall accident at work. It's been a mess. Driving around has been a mess. Today, well, we got about maybe 3 to 4 inches last night. And, but today it's been blowing so hard. It's all this really light, fluffy snow. And my husband said, even though it's sunny out and it's not snowing, the snow that was blowing off the lake that we drive by in the town next to ours was so much that it was almost white out. He had to stop a couple of times until it calmed down enough so he could see. So we're still having the blowing of the snow all over the place. So there's drifting. And we just found out that we might get 8 to 12 inches tomorrow night, which means my kids might miss another day of school on Monday. So I'm not looking forward to that. Fortunately, you know, my husband's been keeping everything clear, and he got some time off from work because of the storm. So we had, you know, we were able to hang out and have fun as a family. So that was good, but my kids need to be in school every day. This just means they're going to get out later in the year if we keep having snow days. And, you know, I worry about my husband driving to and from work in this weather, and I worry about my friends getting hurt too, and myself. So I'm hoping that snow weather kind of calms down after this, because that's a lot it's a lot all at once. We had nothing. It was kind of even warmer for a while, and then this. So my other heartbreak is, I guess, I don't even know. It's kind of in between a crush and a heartbreak. I am taking tamoxifen now. I have been taking it for a week. So far, nothing bad has happened. I don't know what I thought. I guess I thought the second I took it, I was going to be very ill. But I have been sick all week with a stomach bug, which may or may not be a side effect. It might be a stomach bug. It might be a side effect. I don't know. I have to keep taking it to see what's going to happen. So I'm kind of hoping it is a stomach bug. It's going around my town. My kids had a stomach bug, both of them in the last month. So I'm hoping I just caught it from them. But I was sick Tuesday, Wednesday, and yesterday. I felt better on Thursday. And I'm today, so I don't know if it's the medicine or not. But I thought as soon as I started taking it, I was going to feel horrible, and that has not happened. So I'm grateful for that. And I'm still questioning every day my choice to do this. But I know deep down it's the right thing to do. But I just, you know, I'm taking medicine that has potential harmful side effects. That's not really good for me. But I guess 50% chance of getting cancer over my lifetime is worse than that. I don't know. I worry about it every day, but so far, so good. I'm going to try it for 3 months and see what happens. So whatever goes on, I need to only put up with it for 3 months. And if it's really bad, I can choose to stop. And there are other things that I'm going to be working on to help reduce cancer risk, one of which is exercising every day. So when my treadmill gets here tomorrow, I'm going to start working on that. And I'm going to start eating some better foods and making sure that I have the right levels of certain vitamins that I'm taking. So I'm going to look into nutrition too. So that's good. So that's it for my crushes and heartbreaks. Gossip and innuendo. Well, yes, last week when I put up the show, I also included the schedule of annual festivals in our area or that we attend. So things like Madrona, those are not on there because those are over on the West Coast, and I mostly focus on stuff on the East Coast and around where we live. I was supposed to be going to the Fiber Festival in Wayland at the farmer's market this weekend, and I couldn't because of the snow. It was snowing where my friend that I was meeting up with was, and I was sick yesterday, and I didn't want to take the chance that I was going to go there sick today. So, but there's another one coming up, I think in March, February or March, so I'm going to go to that one instead. But that one's in there. I'll have to remove that now and put in the other one. But, you know, I think the next thing coming up, there's Spa in Maine is coming up in February. There are a bunch of events coming up in the area, some of which I'm going to go to. I'm really excited. I'm going to Maryland Sheep and Wool again this year. I really enjoyed myself at that festival last year. So it was different vendors than I usually see at Rhinebeck. So it was really, or at any of the New England festivals, really. So it's going to be fun to go hang out there for a few days with my friend. And I am definitely going to the Connecticut Sheep and Wool and New Hampshire Sheep and Wool for sure. Mass Sheep and Wool probably this year. Last year I couldn't go because I had a wedding that I went to, and I want to try to go to Fiber Frolic again this year. If my friend Lois is in Maine, I might try to meet her there, so that would be fun. But those are the ones coming up that I'm, looking forward to. Sheila usually comes to Connecticut with me, at least, and if we do Mass Sheep and Wool, Sheila usually goes to that one too. Although with her working full-time now, it's hard to know what weekends she has off, so I don't know. I can't speak for her for those. But those are all on the show notes if you want to look and see. Especially if you live near this area, you might find out a few events that you haven't heard of before. I added more events than we had last year. I did a little research, so there are new things on there. And as always, we do plan on going to Rhinebeck this year. And I will also be attending the New England Fiber Festival. An interesting thing, Stitches East was not on the Stitches website yet. So I don't know if they're going to have it in Connecticut this year. I heard a rumor it was going to be somewhere else. If it's close enough for me to drive like Connecticut is, then I might go to that because I do enjoy that. And I have to say, I can see why they might move it. Because last year I went with my friend Diane and Oz, and there is a marathon that has been held on the same Saturday for the last few years, and a police officer actually was telling people, I guess, because he told us, that it had been canceled and that the conference center was closed, and a lot of people had trouble getting anywhere near the conference center. We ended up parking about 12 blocks away and walking because we were told you couldn't drive in there. And then when we got closer, we found out that you could, but no one could tell us how to get to this one way in. I get the feeling maybe they're getting tired of dealing with that. It certainly makes it difficult for people who are not familiar with that area, which is a lot of the people that attend Stitches, to actually get to the conference center because they block off most of the streets everywhere around it. And there's no clear signage, and then this year, police officers are basically telling you can't go. And I know that another year we were told by the guy, like we had stopped and asked like 4 police officers, and they were like, we don't know how to tell you to get there. So I can see how that might be making people less excited to go. So Stitches at least would probably want to maybe do it a different weekend there or find another venue that's not at the same time as a marathon. So if anybody hears about that, just post it in our group and let us know. I'll probably check on it a few times to see what's going on. But I did hear a rumor that they were thinking of looking elsewhere, and I would be sad if it wasn't close by again, but to me, Stitches is more like a trade show, so I won't be sorry to miss it. Plus, I have a lot with Rhinebeck and going to Rhinebeck for 5 days. It's a lot to have Stitches, Rhinebeck, and New England Fiber Festival, like all in a clump. Like, it's a lot for me, but it's a lot more for my husband because he's home with the kids, so. But anyway, if you want to look at all those things, they're on the blog in the show notes, and it's a nice list of events. I have links to all of the event websites, so if you see something that you're interested in, you can click through and see if you want to go to it. If you live in Massachusetts, there's a link to a fiber event in Waltham that I went to one year that was a lot of fun. I don't go anymore because it's not totally focused on fiber, but it's like a sheep shearing event at Gore Place. That's a lot of fun if you have kids. They have a lot of things that are fun for kids to do there. Our kids loved it. So that's coming up in March or April. I want to say April. So anyway, sorry for the short show this week. I feel weird just sitting here talking by myself. I'm so used to talking with Sheila. And I kind of miss her since I totally didn't get to see her at all this week because every time we tried to get together, some kind of catastrophe happened. But hopefully this upcoming week will be different. So have a great week. If you are where the snow is, stay warm, drive carefully, and knit with heart. Bye.